Divine Rising Soul Tribe, it is I, Kadara, your manifestation and mindset coach. Today we are going to be talking about manifestation and shadow work or shadow play. And for me, that involves a lot of consistency as well as patience. And one of the most patient things I know that we can do is create tea, go through the entire process together, and share tea, which is actually a technique I use for shadow work. So first and foremost, I am going to prepare some tea for us here. The tea that we'll be drinking today is Yamamoto Yama Sencha tea. This is one of my favorites. I really, really love sencha because sencha has one, a very divine aroma, and two, it has somewhat of a sweet taste to it. And I'll just be going over the different types of teas I really, really enjoy drinking. So I'm going to prepare it here for you all. Thank you so much. So what I do first and foremost, as you can see, is I will pour 1 tablespoon of the tea inside of this lovely vase or this lovely tea kettle that I have with cherry blossoms on it. And as I'm preparing that and I pour the water inside, obviously I will let it sit for about 3 to 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes being to me the ideal time. And now that it is finished steeping, as they say in the tea world, I will pour us both a cup. Get my cup as well as your cup. And in doing so, I just like to let you know, again, thank you so much for having this tea with me. So here we are with our tea. I have mine. I will pass you yours. So be sure to wait a moment as it is still very hot. I will keep my tea by my side. I will move this lovely tray to the side as well. And in doing so, we can begin. Thank you. I can actually keep this over here. So again, moving into shadow work through manifestation. When I brought this up about tea, one of the things I get asked often is, Kadara, how do you actually conduct your shadow work? So what I like to do is I actually enjoy having tea with my shadow. And the reason why I do this is because in my journey and experience of shadow work, I have learned that my shadow is my greatest teacher. I literally mean that. My shadow has taught me so much because my shadow can only use the things against me that I am unwilling to look at. Like when my shadow brings things up and it's like, hey, Kadara, remember that one time this thing happened and it didn't work? Remember that time you applied for that job and you got rejected? Remember that time you talked to that person and they rejected you? Remember that time you created that new coaching program and nobody signed up? Why create a new program? Why talk to someone else? Why apply for another job? It didn't work last time. What my shadow is really trying to do is it's using its own way of saying, hey, let's look at what didn't work. So what I do is I actually physically sit down at the table and I will pour myself a tea and I will pour my shadow a tea and I will set the tea on the other side. Again, manifesting. And as I am manifesting, mani meaning to do with your hands, something actionable that you can see, I am manifesting my shadow in somewhat of an energetic form to sit across from me so that I can speak out loud. So the inner critic just isn't in here, it is out there as well. So I pour the tea and I sit down and I go over these things. If I have it written in my journal, then I would write it in my journal and I would go over something in the journal, or if it's something fresh in my mind. So you can go about it either way. You can let it be something that's just come up for you if you have the space and availability to do so, or it could be something you write in your journal that you go over at a later time. Say you're with your friends or family on Christmas or the holidays and you don't have an opportunity to really go deep into shadow work. I would just write it down in your notes on your phone, on a little notepad that you have, so that it's something you can do later. With that being said, I then will sit down, and one of the lessons that I have in there from the past was it is infinitely wiser to go over a topic multiple times so that I understand and understand it than it would be for me to superficially study it. That was something I used to do at one point in my life. I would just read all the books and I would try to listen to podcasts and I would just go study and research and research and research. And I would just keep doing it on different topics and different topics. When in reality, it would have been infinitely wiser for me to have just chosen one topic like manifestation or or embodiment coaching, and to just study that one thing, because there's so many lessons in the one thing that will support everything else. So for those of you that are alchemists, one of the things I tell people is, before reading the Kabbalion, which is like an alchemist's Bible, I read An Alchemist's Primer by Manly P. Hall. In reading An Alchemist's Primer, there are words and phrases and sentences that they use in there that are also used in the Kabbalion that you would not understand unless you read An Alchemist's Primer. So know that if you focus on the one thing, so say I was to use these cards as an example. If I studied this deck, like really went to work on it and studied it multiple times, day after day, moment after moment, years, even if it's months or years, even if it's tarot, you study your tarot over and over and over. You allow yourself to just keep studying each card, as each card has its own lesson and blessing for you. And in doing so, you get to know these cards so much more. What ends up happening naturally is, when it comes time to understanding this larger deck that has more information, I will understand this deck more. So it could be something as simple as shuffling. Because I've shuffled the smaller cards so many times, I've gotten a lot better at going through the newer deck, the bigger deck, so to say. And that's how it is everywhere in our life. I feel that there's a lot of people, definitely myself, where I would just rush everything because I wanted to learn it quickly. I wanted to learn it quicker. I was like, I gotta learn it now. This has to happen. I have to make money. What I was doing is I wasn't operating from a space of abundance. And for me, manifestation flows so much more easily in the space of abundance. And that's a lesson I had to learn from my shadow. And my shadow taught me more about abundance, because my shadow was like, you keep doing this, you keep doing this. I had to ask myself, what was the lesson? And the lesson for me was that I was rushing everything. I needed to stop rushing everything and to just take my time and to just slow down. As I took my time with the cards, as I took my time with my studies, I began to actually remember and process everything so much differently. If your shadow work is on past traumas, if your shadow keeps bringing it up and things that are happening currently in your life, it may mean you are holding on to something. The reason why you may not be manifesting more money could be that somewhere in your life, in your memories, is a moment where one of your parents was hoarding all of this money. So you're always hoarding money, or your parent was always spending their money, so they didn't have a lot of money. If it is something where you were assaulted or abused, there may be a message in there that you're still holding on to that you get to extract, which is a part of alchemy. A part of mental alchemy is going into the darkness, extracting the information, pulling it out, transmuting it into light or gold or something that benefits you, so that you can burn the past away. You don't forget it, you let go and forgive it. And I believe that our cards today will support us on that journey of the shadow work. And the first card that we have is Liberation. Liberation, a powerful card, because when we do shadow work, we allow ourselves to be liberated from the things that are preventing us from manifesting what we know we deserve in our life. The art of manifestation gets to be with grace, joy, ease, and in the flow of love, as one of my mentors, Zion and Marta, would say. Next card, Protection. Protection is such a powerful card in my mind, especially when it comes to manifestation and navigating this realm of shadow work, because we get to create a safe space for ourselves when we're on this journey. My safe space is tea. I feel really calm and healed and energetic. I can see the tea steaming just like I can feel my heart beating. Ooh, that was a beautiful rhyme. I can see the tea steeping just as I feel my heart beating. Let that land. Protect your heart, protect your mindset, protect your area. Create a safe space for you to go deeper into your own shadow work. And the last oracle card is Initiation. Ooh, you get to be initiated. I was initiated by my own shadow within my own reality. Initiation doesn't always have to be like initiation into this huge occult magical world of stuff. You get to initiate yourself into your own life, initiation into the path of your higher self, initiation into the way that manifestation works for you. I can't tell you the way that manifestation will work for everyone else. I can only share how it's worked for me. And I do pray that it works for you in a very similar way. So I have another cheers on the tea. I had to let my tea cool down as well. Mm. Oh, I love sencha. Yamamoto Yama. Thank you. And for our affirmations as we're moving forward through the shadow work, we have first card is I am worthy. Remind yourself of this every single day that you are worthy. You have been worthy since your moment of conscious creation, since the moment that your soul chose this body to embrace a 3D world so that you could learn for your spirits. It says, I came into this world with all of my worth, and it can never be taken from me. No one can take your worthiness. If you feel like worthiness is not there, have a seat with your shadow, have some tea or some chips or some popcorn or watch a movie or whatever it is, so that you and your shadow can remind you of how worthy you are. I am unattached. Let that land. I am unattached. Let that card ring true for you. Be unattached, high intention, low attachment. There are many ways to get to where I want to be, and I am open to all of them. Understand that your path to manifestation can happen in many ways. You just get to be open to them. If you are focused on manifesting, say, I desire to manifest more tea. If I was like, I desire green tea, and I keep telling God, Source, Universe, green tea, please, just give me green tea, and I can't get the green tea that I think I deserve, and then I go inside of a shop and I find this Yamamoto Yama green tea. It is a sencha tea, so it is still a form of green tea, but it is not the green tea matcha that I was trying to call in. I bought the tea, and now I'm sharing this tea with you, and I understand how powerful sencha is now. Very calming, also sweeter than it would be if I had gotten matcha. It's still green tea. God Source Universe was like, I have something better for you. Just be patient. So I allowed myself to be unattached to calling in specifically matcha because there was something better for me. It doesn't mean I don't like matcha or I shouldn't drink matcha. It just means in this divine moment that we are sharing together, we are sharing sencha tea together. And the last affirmation, as you focus on manifestation in shadow works as shadow play, is I am being. And who are you being when you do this? Who are you? One of the greatest questions I ever asked myself, and I'm still going to read this, is who am I without all the traumatic experiences? Who am I with all the pain, with all the things that don't resonate with me? Because there was a part of me 2 years ago that was like, oh my goodness, like, who would I be if I hadn't experienced the sexual assault, the verbal assault, physical assault, all these different assaults in the past? Who would I be if I never went to war and had to take the lives of people in combat while in Iraq and Afghanistan and other countries? Who would I be without all these memories? Who am I? And I didn't know who I was. And I offer you all that same question to pause the video now, to take out your journal, write down 5 of the key experiences that shifted your life. I would say in this moment, focusing on ones that would be quotation negative or not your favorite. And ask yourself, these things that brought you to who you are today, especially if you're like a coach or a leader, a guide, who would you be without them? Would you be the same person? And I was like, would I be the same person? I wouldn't be the same person. And as we said earlier, I am worthy and I am unattached. I would still get to this outcome. So I still get to be the teacher and the guide. I just would have done it in a different way. And in reminding myself of that, I knew that I was still on the right path because this is the path my soul and spirit chose. This is the path that God was like, gotcha. I choose to be in my body and stay present in my experience. So choose to be present in your body and this experience that we're having. One more. And with that, it's going to close our eyes and take a moment to be with me because I am here now. Take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, reprogram your nervous system for just being, simply being you. Audible exhale, exhale. Take another deep breath in together, holding it at the top. Again, reprogramming your inner child, the adult, to simply be who you know you are at your core. Audible exhale, exhale. We will do one last one together. Deep breath in, holding it at the top, reprogramming the nervous system for play, joy, grace, consistency, and patience. Audible exhale, exhale. Thank you all so much for joining me on this magical, magical, magical day. Sending you many, many blessings and blessings, as my mentor Preston would say. Enjoy your tea, enjoy your time with your shadow, enjoy your life. Continue to be, continue to protect yourself and your sanctuary. Continue to liberate yourself and experience your initiations. I am Gadara, your mindset and manifestation coach. Let's get it, let's go. Ow!